you realize your parents were total hypocrites? You're 13 now, which means you can buy your own school lunch, my mom said while signing a permission slip one day. We're not made of money, and you need to learn the value of hard work. That's when she also stopped buying me basic school supplies. Figure it out, she said when I asked for new notebooks and pens. Other kids your age have jobs, so maybe you should too. I felt confused and embarrassed asking teachers for extra supplies while my dad watched his expensive sports package that cost more per month than my entire school supply list. They'd just bought themselves a new 60-inch TV but apparently couldn't afford a $5 pack of pencils. I started babysitting on weekends and walking dogs after school just to afford basic necessities like clothes and food. The humiliation of wearing jeans that were too short and shoes with holes burned in my chest, but I tried to act like everything was normal. Look at our little entrepreneur, Dad would joke when I came home exhausted from working. Maybe now you'll understand why we can't just hand you everything on a silver platter. I'd smile and nod while calculating in my head how to make $20 stretch for a week of lunches. By 14, they'd stopped buying me food entirely while ordering takeout for themselves 3 times a week. I'd come home starving to find them eating restaurant meals and empty cabinets. You could get a job at the grocery store and buy your own food like an adult, Mom would say, eating her Chinese takeout. The smell of their meals made my stomach ache, but I learned to stay in my room until they were done so I wouldn't have to watch them enjoy food I couldn't afford. I got better at managing money than my parents ever were because I had to make every dollar count. While they impulse bought gadgets and restaurant meals, I researched every purchase and found the best deals. I started a small business doing yard work and pet sitting that brought in decent money. The irony was that I had more financial discipline as a teenager than they did as adults. But they still mocked me for being poor when I wore thrift store clothes. It's embarrassing having a daughter who dresses like she's homeless, Mom said when I wore a secondhand dress to a family event. People are going to think we don't take care of you. I wanted to scream that they literally didn't take care of me and hadn't bought me clothes in 3 years. Dad would complain to his friends about how expensive kids were while I sat there knowing I'd been financially independent since middle school. I expanded my business and started making real money doing lawn care and pet services for half the neighborhood. My parents acted like my success was somehow thanks to their tough love approach. See what happens when you stop enabling kids and make them work for what they want, Dad would tell people. She's learned the value of a dollar, unlike these spoiled brats whose parents just hand them everything. He said this while drinking $30 bottles of wine and playing golf at the country club. But then Dad got laid off from his job and suddenly their attitude toward money changed completely. We're going through a rough patch financially, Mom explained while asking if I could loan them money for groceries. Just until your father finds something new. I watched them panic about missing one mortgage payment while I'd been budgeting down to the penny for years. They had no savings despite making good money because they'd spent every dollar on wants instead of needs. You've got all that money just sitting in your account, Dad said when I refused to give them cash. Family helps family during hard times. I reminded him that family was supposed to help family when I was 13, and eating peanut butter for dinner every night. That was different because we were teaching you responsibility, Mom said like that made any sense. This is a real emergency. They kept asking for money every few days and getting angrier when I said no. You're being selfish and ungrateful after everything we've done for you, Dad said during one of his begging sessions. We could have kicked you out years ago, but we let you live here for free. I pointed out that letting your minor child live in your house was the legal minimum requirement for parents. Don't get smart with us when we're asking for help, Mom snapped back. I was counting my savings and planning to move out for college when both my parents cornered me in the kitchen with serious expressions. We've been talking, and we think it's time for you to start contributing to household expenses, Mom said while Dad nodded behind her. You're 15 now and you make good money, so it's only fair that you pay rent. Dad stepped closer with a contract in his hands. $500 a month plus utilities, or you can find somewhere else to live. I stare at the contract Dad's holding, and my mind goes completely blank for a second. The paper has official-looking headers and lines for signatures. $500 a month plus utilities means I'd be paying nearly everything I earn, leaving almost nothing for food or emergencies. I did the math in my head fast. Between my lawn care business and the pet sitting, I bring in about $600 on a good month.